Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way, and along with me tonight are my co-hosts, Bill Hannon, Kathy Medeiros, and Ken Demers. We have a special guest, but she is here in spirit. One of our longtime crew members passed away since the last time we taped. She struggled for a little while, but in my religious understanding, we don't mourn the passing as much as we celebrate the lives of those who have gone, crossed over. Her name was Muriel. She wasn't even 5 foot tall, a little bitty slip of a thing, and she could outrun. She had so much stamina. She could outrun all of us, and I know she did with Gary at times, who couldn't be here tonight, her close friend, when they went hiking. But I wrote down a few things because I didn't want to forget. But she was a very generous volunteer. There is paperwork that comes with the show. And making 52 shows a year, taping several each time we go, winds up to be a good handful of paperwork. So she used to do what I do with the paperwork. And she used to take tapes when they were tapes. When it was VHS tapes, when we had, way before the DVDs, she used to take tapes to some of the broadcast stations. I want to say her biggest strengths was that she believed in keeping it simple. She didn't like complications. She didn't live her life in a complicated way. She was very kind, and she wasn't very judgmental of people. She accepted everyone as they were.
Yeah, and she did it happily too. She always had
That's the big thing.
a joyful spirit.
Yes. Yes,
She was always a delight to be around.
Yes.
Perpetually smiling and just joyful.
She always, one of the things she does not want us to do is mourn. She wants us to stay positive, because that's what she did in her life. She looked at the cup as full and tried to see how she could share it with others. She didn't just, keep it to herself.
Everything that was always very fascinating for her too, though. She was always amazed by everything.
Yeah,
everything.
She loved to learn from our show.
Yeah.
She was, she couldn't wait to get enough information.
And she would talk about for hours after, though.
Yeah.
Hours.
Yeah, even when we would go out for something to eat after the shows, the tapings, she just enjoyed being able to sit next to a guest who was there that night and be able to just carry on a conversation from where we left off on the show.
Yeah.
She asked more questions afterwards than were asked during.
Well, we had to let the person
insightful.
speak for themselves, the guest. Yes, she could be a chatterbox, but it was a very lovely chatterbox.
Yes. She had a very gentle voice, gentle voice that you had to just sit there and just listen to it first. You definitely, that kind of voice that definitely made you to sit there and just listen and just be in the moment.
Yeah.
And just enjoy that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
To describe her, she was petite, fair, very youthful looking. She didn't show her age at all, and she had twinkling, sparkling eyes.
She did. Right.
She the joy showed in them.
A little elfish.
Yes.
characteristics. You'd be talking along, and she'd just go give you a little jab and laugh as you're talking, and just eyes would be just sparkling.
Yeah. I did get a message from her, and I think we can talk more
Before
about
or
this
after she passed over?
after.
Okay.
Okay. First, she was chattering so fast that I couldn't understand her. So I knew I got the right spirit.
Right.
Then I told her to slow down, and she did. Don't worry about me. I'm so much better than when I was sick. There's so much to learn and do here. I never dreamed how beautiful everything can be over here. She loved nature. Really, really loved it. Whether it was hiking in the woods and the mountains or strolling on the shore. She loved to be near water and the woods. My message to all of you is to take care of each other in whatever way you can and spread the love. As you can see, she did keep it simple. And I think we all can learn a lot about spreading love, looking at the brighter side of things, looking at what you're grateful for and thankful for. She went through some ups and downs in her life during the time that I knew her, and I've known her more than 20 years. She wasn't able to come to the show because of a work schedule for a
Right.
few years.
Right.
And
So here's my question. The next time you're talking to her, ask her what she meant by what she said about nature.
no, I added that part about nature, but she loved it. She said, I never dreamed how beautiful everything can be over here.
That's
She indicated visually
Right.
it was absolutely beautiful.
right. And that's where I wanted to pick up the conversation with what you just said there. I was going to come back to it later if I had to, was how beautiful things over there. I mean, is in the Christian background is where Christ said he was going to prepare the many worlds of his Father for us. In the Urantia book, they talk about the mansion worlds, which are spiritually evolutionary spheres that we go to. Maybe that would be something to ask her. Is this what's referred to as the mansion worlds?
Well, I will ask her
Right.
if she will continue
Sure.
to share with us.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
And she tried to say it's like a zillion times more beautiful, a gillion, a jillion,
Yeah.
a jillion I think was the term.
Yes.
And it's indescribably so.
Right. Right. That's she had a way of expressing her words. Just try to.
Yeah.
And she's telling me now that if being as you want to talk about that and you want to keep hearing, she can see the energy between people, and she can see when it causes a positive reaction and when it causes a not so positive reaction.
It's interesting, though. It's very interesting.
She can see that clearly, like someone who reads auras
Yeah.
can see. And while we can't all see auras, we can be aware that everything we do has an effect, and that we are connected to each other, all of us, each and every way, even people on the other side of the world that I will never meet may be affected by something I do.
Are you still communicating with her now?
She was the one communicating with me.
Well, that's what I meant. Mutual.
Did you want to ask her a question?
My question is the beautiful part. Is it more beautiful to her because she's seeing a broader spectrum of colors, or Why is the question?
The spectrum of colors, as you call it, has expanded, and she's seeing the soul beauty, the beauty of all the souls. She's
It's like it's
she's
all
seeing the
cosmos.
essence
Yeah.
of every person.
Yeah,
That's my take on what she's saying. But she said she can see the soul of everybody and everything: rocks, plants, trees.
Past, present, future?
She could see that, but she wants to keep it simple for now. She doesn't want to go forward and backward.
Keep
As
it
you were,
simple.
yeah, as you were
Yes.
communicating though, I was being shown though, like the colors are a lot more intense too.
Yeah.
Not overpowering, just a lot more to them, like a deeper colors to them.
A
Even
bigger
though, like,
spectrum.
Right, well, they don't
Yeah.
have the physical eyes that are limited to the range that we can see. They're spiritual eyes or
Yeah.
eyes without physical limitations, and therefore there's probably more of a spectrum.
In the physical, we can see about 3% of the light spectrum.
I see.
And the other thing is musical notes and tones, that's very expanded. It's like nothing we have here. There's no one instrument or symphony
Right.
with all the instruments that can have the effect that just one spiritual note can have.
So is she exposed to musical type instruments or just the vibration of nature?
Mostly the vibration of nature. That's what she's choosing to be exposed to. That's what she's spending her time doing.
Does she have a particular tree or plant that she likes the vibration of?
She doesn't discern between the trees and
Yeah.
plants. She likes them all. They're the very old trees have remarkable souls that you could spend a couple of human years sitting with just one of them. They're so remarkable.
And what type of, did she indicate what type of knowledge they might hold?
They hold in this world the knowledge how to create oxygen for the whole planet. Over there, they hold the knowledge of, I found a word for her, cohesiveness, holding everything together. Because they hold everything together on the Earth's surface,
Right.
but over there, they hold things together more spiritually.
Has she looked into the interconnectedness of everything yet?
She's seeing it.
She's starting to.
Yeah, she is seeing how they're all interconnected, and she stated before that she's seeing the effects of what I say on someone else.
Now, if
or
I
do.
remember right, she was kind of big into angels. So
She liked angels, but she was more big on nature.
well, I think everybody's kind of curious about angels. Has she had any interaction with them at this point?
She said some. She's interconnected with Archangel Ariel. She's telling me to explain who she is. Her name is like a lion in Hebrew,
Who's
Ariel.
Oh, okay.
And she is the angel of the environment and nature and all the elements and all of the little critters, particularly the wild critters. But she will watch over a pet as well. She's got a lot of work to do. It's a busy place.
You know, I find it fascinating that as much as she's talking right now, though, she's still kind of like, you know, kind of showing by example versus just talking your ear off, though, like just the non-stop talking, which is amazing, though. You know,
Yeah,
still
but
how
she
she was
still
when she was
doesn't know what she's doing. She thinks she will be doing something connected to nature. And
So she hasn't been assigned a job yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, she hasn't been yet.
no, it's she's exploring a few things, but she thinks that it'll be something to do with nature, whether it's the environment or one element of the environment. The ocean she loved, and she lived nearby. She lived on an island for a while.
Oh, that must have been really cool.
Yeah, in the Northeast, not a Pacific island.
Oh, Prudence.
And she loves to hike in the woods, so
So she's still doing the hiking there?
yes, she is exploring.
Got that too, huh?
She is. She's trying not to be, but she's a little disturbed about Hawaii and all of the changes that Hawaii is going through with the volcanic eruptions.
Yeah.
Because she kind of wanted to go visit there.
Well, she knows she can visit there now if she wanted.
She can
but yeah.
visit there, but she tried it. She went, and she was upset
Oh, okay.
by what's happening.
Yeah. A lot of changes this planet's going through right now.
Yeah.
A lot
She
of
just
changes.
has to go to a different Hawaiian island that's not undergoing.
Yes, some of them are not undergoing it.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Depends on a lot of folks.
And you know, what popped into my mind is, do you know what Moffat lights are? Moffat is a town in Texas where there's these lights that everybody sees. The spiritual beings.
Oh, right. yes.
The non-physical spiritual beings that are native to the earth.
Uh-huh.
Tell her to communicate to a couple of them and see what they're about.
Most of them would be elementals.
Yeah, well,
Fire, earth,
whatever.
water, air, and the things that we know as sprites, and even the things you know, the gnomes.
Can't forget the gnomes.
Yes, must never forget the gnomes. They are dear, sweet beings. Oh, she said something and I lost it.
Oh no.
Yes, I know.
Just going to repeat it, though. She'll repeat it.
Ask her to repeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit the repeat button.
Yeah. I've had to do that a few times when I communicated. She has even more gentle energy now,
Oh,
though.
she wants to talk a little bit more about spreading love. Because now that she sees what we do to each other, she feels that we could improve.
Right. Absolutely.
The tone of our voice can affect someone's response. The speed of our voice can affect someone's response. Someone who talks too fast, people don't stop listening to. It's hard.
Yeah, the cadence is important, too.
Yeah, but the tone is really important. She thinks, but she's not sure, that the tone and the body language, if you're together with the person rather than on the phone, she said, make a big difference. You know, if you go into somebody, she's telling me to give an example, and say, good job, but you could do better. That message can be taken so differently. The good job, that feels all right. When you put but, that starts to negate what you just said.
Yeah.
You could do better. saying, I've seen you do better when you did this and this. Maybe you need to do a little more of that.
Suppose
Would
they've
help.
never done better.
Well, it's just an example. Kim.
Yeah.
It's-
Try to do better, yeah.
Yeah. It's, keep going, or you've done well. This is what I liked. There's no but there. There's no negative there. I'd like to see you do a little more of this.
Encouraging words.
Yes.
Yeah, be encouraging about it. Yeah. Yeah, she
That
tried even
makes
when
a
she was-
big
yeah.
difference. She never insulted anyone or hurt anyone.
No, I was
She
just gonna say
kept
that, yeah.
quiet. She just wouldn't say it if,
If it wasn't in the good light, though, yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah. She definitely taught by example, though. She never lectured, though. She never, kind of talked down at people, though. It's just everyone was just always equal, no matter who it was. Like, it could be a small kid or somebody older than her. Everyone was just the same to her.
Yeah. I'm
So,
just
yeah.
checking to see if I
Very
left
sweet lady.
anything off this list.
Well, I'm wondering,
It's a long list.
she's identifying herself to you as Muriel,
Yes.
but her soul has a name. Has she looked into that yet?
Oh, she got so excited when she met her soul. And
I could see that.
she's having a problem.
How can you get excited
She's having,
meeting yourself?
she's having a problem expressing it.
It's more of like an electronic pattern,
can
though,
see her
than a soul
excited.
name, though.
Yeah. See,
It's more of an electronic pattern, though, for the soul name. So it doesn't always have a verbal word. to
she
it.
was so thrilled
Yeah.
to know and feel and experience the goodness of her whole soul.
Her
'cause
underlying vibration.
Yes. Because she only carried a small percentage of that.
Yes,
Fingertip.
as we all do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the vibration that we need to accomplish what we've come here to address this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, she worked behind the scenes most of the time and was very modest.
Yeah.
But she donated her time and energy
Yeah.
for close to 20 years. And I believe she's telling me that she wants other people to consider volunteering in whatever way you can. Kathy, she's happy that you started doing some volunteering. She heard about that.
Oh, yes.
She went out with us when we had dinner last week. Only I didn't know that.
Well, I wasn't picking up on that
They
either,
were
though.
bringing up in the conversation on her
Yeah, she
When
did
did
come
she
up.
actually pass over?
about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were talking. Her ears were burning.
Yeah.
We were
Well-
talking about her and wondering how she was doing.
A little story concerning our volunteerism and whatnot. Gary had mentioned that there was up on the east side, a ashram or whatever that had just opened. They were just having all sorts of people come in from around the world to come to the ceremony of this opening and whatnot. And she volunteered to come down and we would have the camera set up and she would tape what was going on the stage. And she was talking with I don't know what you would call like a Hindu priest or something like
Yeah,
that.
was he one of the guests or one of the...
No, he was the
Supervisors.
He was the one
the speaker.
in charge. He was the one in charge of that particular ashram.
Right,
Okay.
director.
Yeah, and so anyways, he's there and he's wearing his saffron robes and stuff like that. And all of a sudden she just realized, in her effort to get down there to do the taping, she just threw on a blouse, but it didn't have sleeves. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just realized I'm sleeveless." And, she knew that respect you know, in that house, would the women always have their arms covered? Well, anyways, he said, Muriel, don't worry about it. That has to do with the right to bare your arms.
He had
a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Just like that, just roll off his tongue. And she laughed, and oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So,
Kind of song time.
so it's just one of those little interesting things. That, I mean, I know she used to go with Mariah down to Westerly and Quaniquatag and do the kayaking and go out and dig quahogs or steamers or something like that and bring them home.
Oh, she loved that.
Yeah, that's just what she liked to do, is just to be outside and doing things in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Well,
forget how busy she
now
is.
the weather's going to be good wherever she goes.
Yes, it
Unless
will
she
be.
wants a little rain.
That's right.
Or a little snow. But at least you won't get cold now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a sweet lady.
She's telling me now she's really interested in sunrises and sunsets, and she wants to find out how that happens, how the energy in the atmosphere and the clouds and everything. She wants to study that and make that one of her goals, to be part of that.
Well, that'd be interesting if she could share information about
Yes.
the open eye meditation as the sun rises or the hour before it sets. How it stimulates your pineal gland by keeping your eyes open and staring at the sun as it rises. And that light goes through your pineal, pituitary, into your pineal gland. You know, stimulating both your third eye and keeping the pineal gland activated, kind of get the, how would you say, rust off it? You know, activated somewhat so that, you know.
Keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And supplying with the energy so that it keeps the rest of our endocrine glandular system healthy. So I'm always interested in anything along that line she may have to share eventually.
I never thought about there being a shift of energy at sunrise or sunset, but I guess as you change the spectrum, it would make sense that it would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, everything's connected, though, so any shift in anything, though, it can make a change in energy and just perception, too.
Well, just what we have, for instance, with full moons, we know there's a definite change
Sure.
that affect a lot of people.
Yeah, human behavior.
And how many animals come out at dusk and dawn?
And somehow they just know, though. They don't go by clocks like we do. You know, they just know. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say thank you, and we only have a few minutes left, but tonight we are discussing our dear friend Muriel Delaney Mahoney and her passing, and all of the wonderful characteristics, spiritual characteristics that she shared with us. And she is coming through telling us a little bit about the other side, what it's like for a newbie on the other side. And she tells me that she thought she would want to fly, but it's in the Keep It Simple, it's just think about where you want to be and you're there.
That's right.
It's not flying.
Yeah.
That, you know, flying is a possibility.
Instant
but
location.
that's in,
Yeah, instant location.
yeah.
Like even some of the masters that have been on the planet would be able to do biolocation where they'd be able to be in more than one space at a time.
Yeah, that's the astral projection, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just that instantaneous, so you're there.
Well, no, not astral projection. I mean, that's something where you're aware in one place and you're out there and you're viewing it. But biolocation is you're here and you're there.
Yeah.
You're there. There are instances in the Bible
Yeah.
where you were talking about Christ.
There's there's
But it's along the same line of what you're saying. You just want to be there, and you're there. That's, again, the Urantia book touches
Yeah.
about quite a bit concerning the angelic realm and how they transport themselves.
Yeah, there are some biblical stories about a spirit who actually saw the Mexicans, and they saw one of the nuns saw the Mexican and the Aztecs, and when the Spaniards came, they understood completely what they were hearing, because they already had a blue lady,
Right.
they called her.
Okay. Well,
Thank you for watching us. Please join us again. We will have a lot of new shows. Thank you for joining us.